The thing that I want to talk about today is accountability. I think it's easy to get caught up in blaming people for your problems or certain circumstances, blaming other things for your problems because it's easier said than done that way than it is to actually course correct, make adjustments, and fix what you did wrong. I really want to ask the question though, why don't we live in a society that's really based on responsibility and accountability? Why don't we? I'm pretty sure certain people know certain people in their lives, their family members, friends that do live like that. But I think for the majority of the world, we don't. We like to blame other people for our problems or other things for our problems instead of figuring out what it is that we have control of and do that. Try to fix the problem based on what we can do, and everything outside of our power, just completely avoid. So I was watching this video. It was by some YouTuber, and I'm not sure if he's big or not. He seems to have a decent sized channel. He has multiple channels. He's a streamer as well on Twitch. And he was just complaining on YouTube how basically he's being suppressed in the algorithm. How on YouTube he's not getting a lot of views, so he started a second channel. Second channel is doing decent, but then all of a sudden lately it's doing bad. And he just keeps complaining about how he's not getting views and YouTube's trying to suppress him and this and that. It's the algorithm, this and that, this and that. I gotta tell you right now, man, you gotta take full responsibility and accountability for your actions. Because if we go back and look at your content, it's probably not that great. And I checked, and it's not that great. It's very basic, bare bones minimum. To each their own. His personality might shine through for some people. That's why they subscribe. But obviously, people are not sticking around for a reason. The reason why people are not coming back to your videos and watching them, you thinking that you're shadow banned, but in reality, people are just not coming back to watch your channel, is just that. There's no content of you creating. That's the biggest thing I can say is creating. A lot of these people get comfortable on social media and just content creation in general because, they can create an audience, monetize that audience, and then all of a sudden they think that's the way it's supposed to be for the rest of their lives. But in reality, we're not guaranteed a damn thing. Nobody owes us a damn thing. So why not take full accountability and responsibility for the fact that maybe you're just washed up. Maybe you don't post as good as content as you did before. Maybe people just subscribe to you, realize you're full of shit because you complain so much, and that's why they don't want to come back to your video. It's very interesting to see people complain when you look at it from a third person's point of view, because it's like, why are you so pressed about the situation? Why not find a solution? Why not try to figure out what you can do in order to solve the problem? When I was a kid, I was that kid that was always a complainer. I used to whine a lot. I used to, not really challenge myself. I used to try to ask for help every second I got. I couldn't find something in the kitchen. Oh, well. Somebody else would have to go find it for me. I would not try to take the time out of my day to try to figure out the problem and find a solution. The older that I got, all the trials and tribulations I've ever been through, I realized I really want to rely on myself. I don't need to rely on nobody else. And once you have that mindset that you're just trying to find a solution for yourself, for your problem, you're more likely to become successful. Because you're not at the whim of other people's beliefs or other systems' beliefs. You do what you want to do, and you're going to find a solution no matter what. No matter how long it takes you, and no matter what you need to do in order to find that solution. It might be hard. It might be challenging. You might have other obstacles in your way while trying to still solve for that one obstacle. And that's the craziest part. People don't think like that no more. Attention is so fast. Getting money is easy nowadays because you can get paid online. I'm not saying that it's easy per se, but it's simplified for sure. You don't have to go work in a coal mine no more. You can just hop on YouTube or Twitch and make some money in that same day from donations. So all these people don't have that mindset of what it means to grind, what it means to reinvent yourself, what it means to actually take responsibility for your actions, for your failures, and just man up and deal with them. Find a solution. It's funny because that dude that was talking about his channel being shadow banned and this and that, and he's not getting views like he used to. What has he done in the past month? What has he done in the past 3 months to reinvigorate his channel, to reinvent his channel, his personality? Does he really express the way that he feels about certain things, or is he just putting on a persona? Is he masquerading as somebody else or as the old him in order to get this attention or to keep up with that old attention that he has? That's the biggest thing. Subconsciously, I really do believe people could see through that bullshit. Obviously, A lot of people can see through facades of people and their personas. But more importantly, people can see through when you're not authentically yourself, or they can just see through bullshit in general. Because if you remember, conspiracy theory channels back in the day had a lot of attention, especially in the early to mid 2000s. Lately, all these conspiracy theory channels are gone. They're still there. There's still people watching them to a certain degree, but it's not the main biggest thing on YouTube like it was back in the day. I remember Illuminati was like the biggest thing searched on YouTube for a certain period of time, like in 2005, 2006, something like that. Everybody was concerned about the Illuminati and the music industry, Illuminati and the film movie industry, and all of a sudden that shit died down. Same thing with aliens, or same thing with monsters, ghosts, and all this other shit. People realize it's bullshit at the end of the day. Same thing with complaining about things in your life. Some people subconsciously realize, like, motherfucker, there's something you could do about that problem. Just solve the problem instead of complaining to us. There's a certain select group of people who really, they like to see people complain. They like to see people, it's not necessarily consciously, but subconsciously, they like to see people complain because it makes them feel good about themselves and the certain situation that they're in their own lives. It's that self-validation where life fucking sucks. They're always holding us down. It's always oppression. But in reality, it's like, what the fuck have you done today to get yourself to the next level? Why is it that we always have to take the easy way out? Why can't things be a challenge? Why can't things be difficult? For the betterment of ourselves. No one has ever said they gone through a difficult, challenging time, came out victorious, and then they didn't benefit from it. I've never heard a story like that before. Now, I will say I've heard stories of people getting fucked over, but I've never heard a story of somebody going into the grind set, grinding their time away, their life away, and certain things, and overcoming that challenge, and then they still didn't learn something from that, or they didn't accomplish something from that. I've never heard stories like that. And people who are like that, who do grind and do certain stupid shit and then come out with nothing as a result, they're just stupid to begin with. Let's just keep it a buck. You got to work smarter, not harder. But I saw that video and it just made me question, a lot of people that I know in my life, whether I've seen them do it or not, they just don't want to take accountability and responsibility for their decisions. And the easiest way to tell is based off the life that they're living. And I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else, but it's like, come on, man. Let's take responsibility for once. If you're fat, if you're, overweight, you're not where you want to be. You don't have a career that you want. You don't have a job that you want. You're not going to school. You're just existing. Whose fault is that? Of course, there's always somebody to blame. But is that a real excuse why it's keeping you down? And not only that, but it's like, the thing that I always think about every time I face a challenge in my life, the thing I always think about this. It's not necessarily right then in the moment when I have a problem that I'm facing, but later on when I reflect on that problem. We only live once. We only have one chance at this life. And I know for some people, even for me back then, it doesn't mean shit. When people say that you only live once, it doesn't really mean anything. It's just something people say. It's very cliche. But when you really think about it, and if you ever had a life-changing experience, a near-death experience, you realize it's fragile. This life is fragile. Just because we wake up every day, we've been on a long streak for 17, 18, 20, 25 years of staying alive and nothing happening, doesn't mean that tomorrow or even this next second, this next minute is promised. You might find some, life-altering news in an hour from now that you never even knew was going to happen. So, with that in mind, that life is very fragile, life could end at any moment, you need to be living life at your best, your most greatest that you can. It's the most important thing to do. And every time a problem pops up, every time some type of issue is in your way, then you need to find out what you need to do in order to solve the problem and not stress about it so fucking much, because trust me, that problem is not as big as death is. Death is game over for everybody. So if you have a problem where you got rejected by a girl, you were embarrassed, humiliated over just anything that happens in your daily life as a student, as a father, mother, brother, son, whatever. You're humiliated as a friend. You lose your whole friend group. You're not as successful as you want to be. You're just down in life. Remember, the end all be all is death. And it's going to come for all of us. So you need to make sure that, the situation I'm going through is bad right now, but it's not the worst it can be. So I'm going to go ahead and keep pushing onward. The most Best advice I can give you is start small. Make sure you start small. Make sure that the progress is not jump, you're trying to jump in it way too fast to a point where it's like you are overworked. You have no motivation no more because you use all of your energy at the beginning of the fight. Savor that shit. Let it ride. Build your momentum slowly. So if you're trying to get a career that you really want, like YouTuber or streamer, or you're trying to go to the gym, lose weight, start small. Don't jump to it and be like, oh, I'm going to go on a fucking 5-day fast, or I'm going to eat watermelon for 90 days. Don't do no dumb bullshit like that the first time you ever do anything. Same thing when you go to the gym. Don't think that you can bench 300 pounds, squat 400 pounds the first year, to be honest, that you're going to the gym. Not only the first day, but the first year. Don't believe that that's a reality. For some people it is, but you can't compare yourself to all those other people. You need to be comparing yourself to yourself from yesterday, and that's it. If you couldn't squat 300 pounds yesterday, more than likely you're not going to be able to squat it today. Just because that kid is 15 years old and he could squat 300-400 pounds doesn't mean that that's your reality as well. Life's unfair just like that. But where others people fail, you will succeed. So find your talents, find your traits, your skills, your attributes that you can actually build up and manage and you're really good at. The things that you're really good at, excel at those. One thing for me was I was always good at speaking to some degree. I remember I was so afraid and scared of public speaking when I was in elementary school, but right around middle school, probably more towards high school, I was able to, get into I don't know how to describe it. I was just able to talk to people a very different way than when I was younger. And that stage fright that you would get when you have to give an oral presentation or whatever, it just went away. And I remember when I got to college and I actually took oral communication, I was one of the best students. I wasn't nervous. I'm not trying to gas myself up, but I was able to present myself in a certain type of way. And that's what I use to my advantage. Like, you know what? I can speak to a certain degree, so I'm going to try it. I'm not the best speaker. I probably will still get stage fright and this and that, but I am better than a lot of people, that can't do that. It is what it is. I'm not trying to gas myself up, but it's not about me. What I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to get at is just make sure you start small. That's the most important thing. Work your way up. So if you want to lose weight, don't focus on, I'm just going to go to the ketogenic diet tomorrow. No. Count your calories first. That's it. That's all you have to do. So if you want to start losing weight, even if you're eating bad today, you're eating jelly beans and all types of candy, fast food, McDonald's, just start out by counting your calories. So today you ate 3,000 calories. Today you ate 4,000 calories. Okay. Track that for about a month or a week. And then when you want to start dabbling into it, all right, I'm going to start cutting back on my calories. I'm still going to be eating the junk food, but I'm going to start cutting back just a little bit. I'm going to cut back by 250 calories, 500 calories. Okay. Then another month, 2 months go by. Now you can start dieting. Get on the ketogenic. Get on something that's very low carb. Cut out all the sugar. You have to do it in progressive steps because I'm telling you from firsthand experience, when you think you can jump into it and just go balls to the wall, full throttle, that's how you burn out the fastest. It's like a shooting star. Right at the beginning, that's when it burns up and then it's still moving, but it dies out. It's the same thing for everything that you're trying to do in your life. You got to start out small. I know we don't like to hear that. I know we don't want to do that. Some people are faster in the beginning than others, and they can ride that momentum still. But for the majority of us, especially doing things that we don't want to do or doing things that we find challenging at the beginning, we're going to have to start out very small. Who cares? Don't judge yourself because it's like you weren't able to do that yesterday, but now you're able to do it today. Or you weren't able to do that a month ago, but now a month later, you're able to do that, right? So it's progress nonetheless. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that because they want everything instantly. This whole instant gratification world that we live in nowadays, especially due to social media. But that's the way it has to be. The perfect example is just going to the gym. You're not going to be able to lift 300 pounds right off the bat. You're going to have to more than likely work your way up. You're going to have to start with the bar, 45 pounds first. Then you add 10 pounds to each side, and then you work your way up. We get into this position where we compare ourselves to other people because they're so far advanced. It's like, that's where we want to be today. But no, it's the journey, man. You got to be in love with the journey. And if you can't grasp the journey, even with the challenges, then you need to switch something up. You need to change something. I really do believe you have to put your pride aside and do what you need to do, like work a job, a 9-to-5, even if that's not what you want to do. But if that 9-to-5 is not serving you and you have mental illness or some type of mental disorder working that job because it's just getting to you so much, then I wholeheartedly believe you need to switch something up. You know, you might have to get into a new job or something like that. But the biggest thing is to start small. Take full accountability, full responsibility, and start small. Work your way up. Do and be better than yesterday, and you will be able to conquer anything and everything that you want. Anyway, that's the end of my ramble. I thank you guys for watching this channel. I don't know what it's going to become. I just, for right now, it's just my thoughts. And there's a lot of things that I see in this world, and I have a lot of opinions on certain things. And whether you guys want to hear them or not, that's what this channel's for. But thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.